Good afternoon, I'm Ed Pozzuoli, president of Tripp Scott, and today we're joined by the mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Jack Seiler. Jack, welcome.
Ed, great to be with you.
Hey, today I wanted to talk about the boat show. It just closed this weekend. It was the last weekend. A tremendous success. I mean, just a huge economic boon to the city. Let's talk about that, what that boat show means to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, first of all, it's our Super Bowl. I've said that before publicly. I've said it privately. It is the Super Bowl to the city of Fort Lauderdale. And that's on several fronts. One, just the economic numbers. The economic output to the state's over 800 million. The economic output to this region's over $500 million. It is a tremendous economic impact to our community. And not only does it have that economic impact for the period of time it's here, it does two other significant things. One, it kicks off our season in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
Most people look at the tourism season, they say, does it start at Thanksgiving? Does it start at Christmas? It really starts with the boat show.
Right.
That's our kickoff. And then the second big number is it kicks off the marine season. If you look at what happens in terms of the marine industries in this area, the boat show is what stimulates all the activity for the following year. And you see an industry that has about $10 or $11 billion in economic impact.
Describe that industry for our viewers, because I don't think they understand the scope and breadth of it.
Well, it's as we've talked about before, it is, depending on the numbers, the second or third largest industry we have here in South Florida. But the marine industries encompasses everything from that mega yacht down to that outboard engine, everything from that sailboat down to all the electronics that are going into the boats. And if you look at the state of Florida, about a third of all the business, and more than a third of all the business in the state, from the marine industry standpoint, is right here in Greater Fort Lauderdale. It is the hub of the marine industry for the state of Florida, and it's the largest area for the marine industry impact in the country. So when you look at Fort Lauderdale, the marine industry is our lifeblood. It's one of our founding industries, and the boat show kicks off that industry too and sustains that industry for the following year.
So give everybody an understanding of what it means to have a boat show in Fort Lauderdale and the level of coordination that it takes between the city and the boat show organizers and all the vendors and the neighborhoods that participate and everybody else.
Well, it's a great question, because it really takes an all-in mentality. It takes all hands on deck, everybody cooperating, everybody working together. When you look at that boat show, takes the marine industries, which, as I indicated to you, is a $10 or $11 billion industry. They own that boat show. Skip Zimbalist and show management does a fabulous job of running that boat show, putting it on, hosted it for the marine industries. But they have to work so closely together, and they are very, very tight. Then the combination of working with the locations, and there are 7 locations for that boat show throughout the city. So all those property owners and those owner-operators of the property have to work together. And then the city. You look at hundreds of public safety officials, right, police officers, firefighters, public works, parks and recreation, all the parking, all the hotels. We had about over 100,000 visitors to that boat show. And so it's everybody working together. And it's one of the things I'm most proud about as mayor, because the community is all in. It's not the public officials, it's not the public employees, the community's all in. If you're in that neighborhood, everybody welcomes the boat show. Everybody looks forward to boat show week. And at the end of the day, you just see a lot of the locals joke about the traffic, joke about how busy it is, but at the end, everybody loves it. It's a great way to start the season.
And talk about the season, the tourist season. I mean, it just fills virtually every hotel room in town. In fact, it does, because we're down to Miami Beach this weekend, and those hotels were experiencing huge boom for Fort Lauderdale Boat Show.
Yeah, it's become, like I said, it's become such a massive event. It takes up all the available hotel space in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. It stretches up into southern Palm Beach, as you experience. It stretches down into Miami-Dade County. And so it is an event, again, looking at, when you talk about over 100 and some thousand visitors coming through that show, from Thursday through Monday, that's a substantial amount of people. And then you start looking at all the countries involved. It has become not just this national event. It's truly an international event. Some of the visitors are amazing.
Share with us the story about the visitor that you had a cup of coffee with on Sunday morning.
I tell you what, it was just so awesome. The Italian ambassador to the United States, who spends most of his time between Italy and Washington, D.C., was so impressed with the number of exhibitors that Italy has placed now in our boat show, over 3 dozen. High-end yachts, high-end product, high-end merchandise. You know, it's an amazing boat show for the Italians. They like quality, they like high performance, and they really love our boat show. And so what happened was, he was telling me he was coming to see all his exhibitors. We got together and had a cup of coffee over there, had a exchange. I gave him a key to the city, welcomed his council general, gave her a gift. It's wonderful and kind of fun for a mayor of Fort Lauderdale to meet an ambassador from the, you know,
Sure.
obviously from Italy, who came from Venice. So we are the Venice of America. That's our sister city. So we had a lot of connections on a lot of different levels, and he could not have been more impressed with the boat show. He did a tour and just came back overly impressed, and recognizes that this is truly the best boat show in the world, not just the biggest, but the best.
So what does the future of the boat show hold for Fort Lauderdale?
Well, as you know, we're right now, the Skip Zimbalist and his guys at Show Management were able to do a 30-year deal with the Marine Industries Association. So that part of the equation
Is locked in now.
solid.
Right.
We're so pleased with that. Now we're just working out the site, the locations, trying to firm those up for the next 30 years, make sure they have the same time frame that overlaps so that we can keep this boat show here through 2050. And then we're working on some of the other issues. But right now, the one thing I can tell you is the community's all in. And no matter who you speak to, whether they may not be wild about a development plan or a redevelopment plan, everybody recognizes you have to be the permanent home for the boat show. It has to be the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. So I'm very confident by the time I leave office, we'll have a 30-year deal in place for that boat show to be here in Fort Lauderdale and to continue having economic impact numbers of over $500,000 in the region and $800 million in the state.
Well, congratulations on a great success on the boat show this weekend. I mean, with a great history, and it sounds like a bright future. Mayor,
Well, thank you, Ed. And I appreciate you, putting a spotlight on it, because it means everything to the city of Fort Lauderdale and to this South Florida area.
Well, please congratulate your city people for supporting the boat show. I know they put extra time and energy into it, and it makes it very worthwhile.
Yep, well, certainly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.